Hi everyone, I'm Bubbles from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you a new piece, Twilight Meadow Motifs cardigan. This garment is made up of the back body, underarm motifs, front body, shoulder parts, hems, front bands and collar, sleeves and decorations. Start by crocheting the front and back bodies and shoulders. Then work on the hems. After completing them, crochet the button bands and collar. Next, crochet the sleeves. Finally, crochet and make the decorative elements. The garment comes in two sizes, small and large. The number of rounds for motifs and stitch counts at certain positions vary between sizes. The tutorial explains using the small size as an example. Different positions will be explained separately when encountered. Let's start learning how to crochet the back piece. It is made up of a corresponding number of motif 1, except for the first motif, which is fully crocheted. When working on the last round of the remaining motifs, crochet and join them to the previous motif at the same time. All motifs are started with a magic ring method. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise from the beginning chain. The stitches used include chain stitch, slip stitch, double crochet, DC 3-in-1 and 5 DC popcorn stitch. Now, let's show. To make it easier to watch, I'll use cotton yarn for this demonstration. For specific yarn, color scheme and hook size, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. Start with a double magic ring. Then make 3 chains as beginning chain after completion. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet, then work 2 double crochets into the magic ring. We consider the beginning chain and the 2 double crochets as 1 leaf. Since there is a beginning chain at the start, the technique is special. Next, work 3 chains. Then make the second leaf, which is 3 double crochets. After completing, work 3 chains. Then make the third leaf. Continue following the chart. Work this round completely. After the last leaf is crocheted, then work 3 chains. Then tighten the ring. Finally, pick up the top of the beginning chain, the third chain, the 2 strands above, join with a slip stitch. So the first round is completed. Because the next round requires a color change, secure the yarn tail, enlarge the loop. Then take the working yarn or fabric, thread it through the loop. Pull tight. Now start crocheting round 2. Refer to the chart, take the corresponding color yarn. Join the yarn in the last chain space. Start with work 3 chains as beginning chain. Continue to work 2 double crochets in the same chain space. So 1 leaf is completed. After completing, work 1 chain. In the adjacent space work 2 leaves, with 3 chains between them. After completing, work 1 more chain. Continue to follow the chart. Work this round completely. After finishing the last 3 chains, join with a slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain. Pull tight. Leave a bit of tail and fasten off yarn. Hide the yarn tail on the wrong side by following the texture. So round 2 is completed. Now let's crochet round 3. Take color 1 yarn. Draw it through the last chain space of the previous round. Then work 1 leaf first. Note that the technique for the first leaf is the same as before. After completing, work 1 chain. In the adjacent chain space, work 1 leaf. Then continue with 1 chain. In the next chain space, work 2 leaves, separated by 3 chains. I consider the 2 leaves worked into the same chain space, along with the 3 chains, as 1 corner. 1 leaf with chains on both sides counts as 1 side. Continue crocheting following the side and corner method from now on. Join with a slip stitch. Here, together with the first leaf at the beginning, forms a corner. Likewise, secure the yarn tail here. This completes the third round. For the following rounds, the crocheting method is the same as the third round. Work corners at the corner positions. On the sides, increase the number of leaves. Note, after finishing an odd-numbered round, secure all the yarn tails. When crocheting the corresponding rounds with the same color yarn later, simply pull the yarn loop through the chain space at the corner. For the remaining rounds, change colors according to the chart. From here on, follow the methods you've learned earlier. Refer to the chart and continue crocheting up to the second to last round. Note, different sizes have different numbers of rounds, but the crocheting method is identical for all. Now let's crochet the second to last round. Note, I'm demonstrating the small size here, which has fewer rounds, and this round uses different yarn colors for different sizes. If you're using variegated yarn, the color segment at the starting position of the yarn tail will vary, resulting in a different look when crocheted. You can choose your preferred color segment to begin crocheting based on personal preference. I'll continue crocheting from the yarn tail before joining the new yarn. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Work 2 double crochets in the same chain space. Then work 1 double crochet in the turning chain. Then along the stitches, work 1 double crochet in each stitch, and 1 double crochet in each chain space. Continue working double crochets into chain spaces and stitches along the edge of the previous round. Keep going until right before the corner's chain space. When you reach the corresponding position, work 3 double crochets in the chain space. Three chains and 3 double crochets. Treat the stitches worked in this chain space as a corner, and the rest as sides. Continue following the method for sides and corners. Work this round completely. After finishing the last 3 chains, slip stitch and pull tight. Complete the starting corner. No matter the size, leave a yarn tail, fasten off, and weave in ends. This completes the second to last round. Now work the final round. Join the yarn in the chain space corresponding to the corner from the previous round. Make 3 chains to start. Then work 4 double crochets in the same chain space. Stretch the loop. Remove the hook. Draw the loop through the top chain from the turning chains. At the same time, push the completed stitches forward. Then work 1 chain to secure. Treat the stitched part as a special 5DC popcorn stitch. Next, work 1 chain. Then skip 1 double crochet. In the next stitch, work 1 DC 3 in 1, meaning work 3 double crochets into the same stitch. That completes 1 DC 3 in 1. Work 1 chain. Then skip 3 stitches. Work 1 DC 3 in 1. Work 1 chain. Continue crocheting along this side. Now reach the corner chain space. First work a 5 DC popcorn stitch. Work 5 double crochets into this chain space. Then pull up a large loop. Remove the hook. Draw the loop through the first DC. Then work 1 chain to secure. So 1 5 DC popcorn stitch is completed. Work 5 chains. Then into this chain space, work another 5 DC popcorn stitch. Continue treating the stitches worked in this chain space as a corner, and the rest as sides. Continue following the method for sides and corners. Work this round completely. After finishing, join with a slip stitch and pull tight. Complete the starting corner. Finally leave a yarn tail, fasten off, and weave in ends. So the final round is completed. The first complete motif is done. Now let's crochet the second motif 1. Everyone first refer to the chart. Follow the method we learned earlier. Work all the way down to the last round. Here I've already crocheted it. Now let's work the last round. When crocheting this round, join with the adjacent motif as you go. Everyone can refer to the chart. Connect along the corresponding sides and corners, or connect at any side and corner. Make 3 chains to start. First work all the stitches before joining. After finishing, start by connecting at the corner position. First work a popcorn stitch. Then work 2 chains. Replace the third chain with a slip stitch. Take the previous motif. Insert into the corresponding corner's chain space, or any corner's chain space. Make 1 slip stitch. Insert the hook from the wrong side to the right side. This completes one connection. Finish crocheting this corner. After finishing, move on to the edge position. Similarly, replace the chain with a slip stitch into the corresponding chain space of the adjacent motif. Make 1 slip stitch. Finish crocheting this side. After finishing, continue to work the corner and join. Replace the corresponding chain with a slip stitch. Then continue to complete this motif. After finishing, leave a yarn tail, fasten off and weave in ends. So the second motif is completed and joined. Now follow this method accordingly. Continue crocheting and joining as you go. Complete all the motifs on the back body. For the following edges and corners, join in the corresponding positions normally. At the corner position, you'll encounter situations where 3 motifs meet, or 4 motifs are joined together. I'll explain each case separately. When joining 3 motifs, in the corner chain space of the adjacent motif or any completed motif, crochet a slip stitch to join, or you can pick up 1-2 strands from the previous slip stitch to crochet with. Then complete crocheting this motif. When joining 4 corners together, you can join with a slip stitch in any chain space of the 2 adjacent motifs, or attach by crocheting a slip stitch into the previous slip stitch position, or pick up the corresponding spot from the earlier slip stitch to join. As long as there's no visible hole after completing it. Next, continue to crochet and connect the edges and corners corresponding to this motif. So now all the situations for joining motifs on the back body have been covered. That's all. Now refer to the chart, crochet and connect the corresponding number of motifs. Up to this point, the back body is completed. Next, crochet the underarm motif. Here I'll use the finished product to explain. These motifs, the crocheting method is identical to the back body motifs, only the color changes are different. There are cases where you don't change colors in the first few rounds. When finishing the last leaf in such cases, make 1 chain. Then join with a half double crochet to the beginning chain. There are also cases of alternating two colors. In these cases, don't cut the yarn for either color. Secure the yarn tails after completing each round. When crocheting with the same color later, simply pull the yarn directly to the corresponding position and draw through. This method was demonstrated before in the back body. Refer to the chart while crocheting, and when working the final round, connect to the corners and edges of the corresponding motif in the back body. So the underarm motif is now complete. Next, let's learn how to crochet the front body, which consists of the left front and right front. The left and right here refer to the actual wearing position. Both are made up of the corresponding number of motif 1, motif 2 and motif 3. Refer to the chart and crochet all motif 1s completely and join them. Here we suggest you first crochet all required motif 1s up to the round before the final round. Then when working the last round, try to stagger the color sections of the front motifs and the underarm motifs, or arrange them according to your preference. Now complete it on your own. Next, crochet motif 2. First crochet motif 2 for the right front. Refer to the chart. You can see that the first few rounds of motif 2 are almost identical to those of motif 1. After completing it, work the remaining parts. Now, let's show. I've already crocheted the first few rounds. For my small size, I'll now start the 6th round. The 7th round for the large size is similar. If you're making the large size, watch the demonstration first before crocheting. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Then refer to the pattern. Work all the way down the half double crochets in this round. Once completed, for small size, work 3 chains. Then work 2 double crochets. Join with a slip stitch to the beginning chain, then cut the yarn and weave in the ends. After completing the half double crochets for large size, work 1 single crochet into the chain space first, then work 3 chains, followed by 1 double crochet. Finally, pull tight after slip stitch. Leave a yarn tail, fasten off and weave in the ends. Next, round 7 for small size. First hook the yarn out in the corresponding stitch. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Then refer to the pattern. Work all the way down the row with half double crochets. After completing, work 2 chains. Then join with a slip stitch in the corresponding double crochet. Cut the yarn and weave in the ends. This completes round 7 for small size. Round 8 for large size is similar. Just follow the chart accordingly. Move on to crocheting the final row. Here I'll use the finished product to explain. The corners and sides as you crochet need to be joined with motif 1 accordingly. After completing the last 2 chains of this row, work a slip stitch in the corresponding stitch. Then leave a yarn tail, fasten off and weave in the ends. Now you can complete the rest by following the chart. That concludes motif 2 for the right front piece. Next we'll crochet motif 2 for the left front piece. Here I'll use the finished product to explain. The crocheting method for the front rounds is identical to motif 1. For small size, round 6, and for large size, the 7th round. After completing the last 3 chains, join with a slip slip stitch to the first stitch. Then leave a yarn tail, fasten off, and weave in the ends. For the following rounds, refer to the chart. Join the yarn again and continue crocheting. The final round for large size also uses double crochet decrease. Here I'll demonstrate the crocheting of this stitch. First, at the corresponding position, work 2 incomplete double crochets. Then yarn over and draw through all loops in once. This is the double crochet decrease technique. So far, motif 2 for the left front has been covered. Up to this point, motif 2 is complete. Next, let's learn how to crochet motif 3. Motif 3 is mainly worked back and forth in rows. First, crochet motif 3 for the left front. Now, let's show. Start with an adjustable magic ring. Then work row 1. Make 3 chains to start. Then work a leaf and chain stitches. Finally crochet 1 double crochet. The first row is completed. Tighten the ring. Secure the yarn tail. Now work row 2. First attach yarn to the beginning chain of the previous row. Then make 3 chains to start. Work a DC2 in 1 into the beginning chain of the previous row, that is, crochet 2 double crochets in the same stitch. After completing, work 1 chain, then refer to the pattern. Work all the way down this row. Finally work a DC2 tog. Finish and secure the yarn tail. Row 2 is completed. Now work row 3. First turn the work with the wrong side facing you, that is, the blurry texture side. Then pull the yarn through the last stitch of the previous row. Make 2 chains as beginning chain. Continue following the chart. Work all the way down this row. This completes row 3. Finish and tidy up the yarn tail. Now proceed to crochet row 4. In the stitch corresponding to the beginning of the previous row, pull the yarn through. Make 2 chains as beginning chain. Continue following the chart and crochet this row completely. Once finished, row 4 is complete. Secure the yarn tail. Next, refer to the chart. Crochet motif 3 all the way to the end. In the following row, for small size you'll also encounter DC3 tog. That means work 3 incomplete double crochets in the corresponding position. Then yarn over and draw through all loops in once. This is the technique for DC3 tog. Finally, leave a yarn tail and fasten off. Later, when crocheting the last row, you need to join with motif 2 and motif 1. Here, start by making 3 chains as beginning chain. Into the gap between edge double crochets of motif 2, make 1 slip stitch. Then crochet the remaining part to finish. Pay attention to join as you crochet along the edges. Below you can complete it on your own. Once completed, crochet motif 3 for the right front piece. The crocheting method is almost identical to that of motif 3 on the left front piece, only this motif, for the first few rows without color change. Don't cut the yarn after completing each row, just make the beginning chain, and turn the work to continue crocheting each row. When crocheting the last row, you also need to connect with corresponding motif 1 and motif 2. Now you can complete it on your own. That concludes the explanation for motif 3. Next, let's learn how to crochet the shoulder parts, divided into left shoulder part, right shoulder part and back shoulder part. First, let's learn how to crochet the left shoulder part. Along the motif of the left front piece, work back and forth. Below, please watch the demonstration. First, work row 1. I'll continue demonstrating with the small size. For larger sizes, please watch first. Then follow the chart to crochet. At the corresponding motif 1 on the left front piece, join yarn in the corner chain space. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Work another double crochet in the same chain space. Then work 1 chain. Then work a leaf along the chain space, separated by chain spaces. When you reach the corner of motif 1, first work 1 double crochet here. Then work a double crochet decrease. First make an incomplete double crochet in the chain space of motif 1. Then in the corner chain space of motif 3, make another incomplete double crochet. Finally yarn over and draw through all loops in once. This completes 1 double crochet decrease. Continue by working 1 double crochet in the same chain space. Then work 1 chain. Then work a leaf. Finally work 1 double crochet. This completes the first row. Now let's crochet the second row, working 2 chains as beginning chain. Turn the work. Then work 1 double crochet in the same double crochet stitch. Then work 1 chain. Next work a leaf in the chain space from the previous row. Finally work 1/2 double crochet in the beginning chain of the previous row. This completes the second row. Now let's crochet the third row. First carry the yarn across. Pull up the loop to enlarge it. Then draw the working loop through the fabric. Then turn the work. Hook the yarn out in the corresponding stitch. Keep the carried yarn a bit loose. Follow this method for all subsequent yarn carries. Then work 2 chains as beginning chain. Work 1/2 double crochet in the adjacent chain. Then 1 chain. Then work a leaf and chains. Finally 1 double crochet in the chain space. Then 1 double crochet in the double crochet from the previous row. This completes the 3rd row. Next refer to the pattern. Complete the remaining rows for the left shoulder part. After finishing, leave a yarn tail, fasten off, and weave in the ends. Then crochet the right shoulder part. Here I'll use the finished product to explain. Begin by joining yarn at motif 3, then work back and forth along motif 3 and motif 1. The working method is almost identical to the left shoulder part. Now refer to the chart. Complete the right shoulder part. Next we'll learn about the back neck shoulder. I'll continue explaining with the finished product. Here you crochet back and forth along motif 1 of the back body. For the next 2 rows, crochet the left side first. Remember to change colors according to the chart as you crochet. After completing, cut the yarn and fasten off. Then attach yarn in the corresponding stitch. Crochet the right side accordingly and finish it. Once done, cut the yarn and weave in the ends. After both shoulder parts are completed, proceed to join them together. Align the corresponding shoulder parts facing each other. On the wrong side, crochet chain stitches and slip stitches to join them. When joining, you can start crocheting from either side. Now I'll demonstrate the joining method. Here I'm using a swatch for demonstration. To make it easier to watch, I'm crocheting with different colored yarns. Refer to the chart for actual color placement. I'll demonstrate using one shoulder side as an example. Attach yarn from either side. Note: insert through both front and back bodies at the same time. For stitch positions, insert into the stitch. For beginning chain positions, pick up the top 2 strands of the beginning chain and insert. Pull the yarn through. Then work 2-3 chain stitches. You can adjust the number of chains based on your tension. Leave a small gap. At a suitable position, insert into both front and back fabric pieces simultaneously. Make 1 slip stitch. This distance should be roughly the same as the length of the chains. Ensure the fabric doesn't shrink after completing. Continue crocheting. When you encounter carrying yarn, weave it into the stitches. Joining is alternately working 1 slip stitch and 2-3 chain stitches. Complete joining this side of the shoulder. Finally leave a yarn tail, fasten off, and weave in ends. so one side of the shoulder is now joined. Using the same method, join the other side of the shoulder as well. That's all for the shoulders and neck area. Now let's learn crocheting the hem. Divide it into 3 sections and decorative beads. First work the first section along the motif at the hem. Now, let's show. Position the hem facing up. Then attach yarn into the chain space at corner of motif 1 along the edge. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Work 2 double crochets in the same chain space. Next pick up popcorn stitch. Work 1 double crochet in the fixed chain. Pay attention, on large sizes, do not crochet on the first and last 2 popcorn stitches. Crochet normally in all other positions. If you can't find the exact position, just pick 1-2 strands at roughly the top and crochet into them. Then work double crochets into chain spaces and stitches of this motif. Work a double crochet into each stitch correspondingly. Next into the corner chain space of this motif and the adjacent motif's corner chain space. Work a DC2 tog. Then work 2 more double crochets. Let's take a look. The first section is to work double crochets along the chain spaces and stitches of the hem motif. When you reach the corner chain spaces of 2 motifs, you also need to work a double crochet decrease. Next, continue in this way. Complete this section. After finishing 3 double crochets in the last corner chain space, leave a yarn tail, fasten off, and weave in ends. That's it for the first section. Now let's learn the crochet of the second section. Use the foundation chain method. Work back and forth along the starting chain. The new stitch technique used is DC3 together in 1. Now let's show. First chain the corresponding number of stitches. Here my swatch has fewer stitches. After completing the cast on, let's work row 1. Make 1 beginning chain, then start from the second chain from the hook. Pick up the back loop. Work 1 single crochet into each stitch. Complete all the way down the foundation chain. Once finished, row 1 is completed. Now proceed to work row 2. Make 3 chains to start. Turn the work. Then work 3 double crochets into the last stitch of the previous row. Skip 2 stitches. Work 1 single crochet. Skip 2 stitches again. Work 7 double crochets into the next stitch. Treat these 7 double crochets as 1 shell stitch, then skip 2 stitches and work 1 single crochet. Let's take a look. This row follows the previous one by alternately working shell stitches and single crochets, each separated by 2 stitches. Continue crocheting this row. After completing the last single crochet, work 4 double crochets into the edge stitch. Finally, leave a yarn tail, fasten off, and weave in ends. Take the right side of the second row as the right side of this section. So the second row is completed. Now let's crochet the third row. Join yarn in the beginning chain of the previous row. Make 1 beginning chain, then work 1 single crochet in the same stitch. 3 chains. Then in the single crochet of the previous row, work 1 DC3 together in 1. First make 3 incomplete double crochets. Then yarn over and draw through all loops in once. So 1 DC3 together in 1 is completed. Then work 3 chains. Next, in the middle stitch of the shell stitch, work 1 single crochet. Then work 3 chains. Let's take a look. This row is to work DC3 together in 1 in the single crochet. Work 1 single crochet in the middle stitch of the shell stitch, and 3 chains between. Continue crocheting this row all the way down. Once the last single crochet is completed, the third row is done. Leave a yarn tail, fasten off, and weave in ends. Now let's crochet the fourth row. Take the corresponding color yarn. Join the yarn in the last stitch of the previous row. Make 1 beginning chain, then work single crochets along the stitches and chain spaces of the previous row. Complete this row. Now the fourth row is completed. Next, crochet the fifth row. Make 1 beginning chain. Turn the work. Skip 3 stitches and work 1 shell stitch. Then skip 2 stitches and work 1 slip stitch. The crocheting method of this row is similar to row 2, except that here you work slip stitches between each shell stitch. Complete this row. After the last slip stitch is done, leave a yarn tail, fasten off, and weave in ends. Now the 5th row is completed. Next, crochet row 6. Join the yarn by picking up the V-shaped loop of the last slip stitch from the previous row. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Then follow the chart to complete this row. Finally, in the chain space of the previous row, work a double crochet. Now the 6th row is completed. Below, please watch the demonstration. Next, refer to the pattern and complete row 7. After finishing, leave a yarn tail about twice as long as the last row, so the second section is done. Now let's move on to the third section. This part is crocheted along the starting point of the second section. The new stitch techniques used are back post double crochets and front post double crochets. With the right side of the second section facing you, the starting point facing upward, attach yarn to one of the remaining 1-2 chains at the edge, which is the same insertion point as the previous single crochet. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Then continue to work 5 double crochets along the chain. Followed by 1 DC 2 in 1. After that, work 5 double crochets. One DC 2 in 1. Continue following the pattern of 5 double crochets, and 1 DC 2 in 1. Repeat the pattern. After completing the last DC 2 in 1, work 6 more double crochets. This completes row 1. Now let's work row 2. Working 2 chains as beginning chain. Turn the work. The next stitch is front post double crochet according to the chart. On the wrong side, you need to crochet the opposite stitch of the chart, which means work a back post double crochet. Insert the hook from the back. Pick up the entire adjacent DC from right to left. Then complete the stitch as a double crochet. Now 1 back post double crochet is completed. Next, the chart shows a back post double crochet. Work the opposite stitch, which means work a front post double crochet. Position the hook on the side facing you. Pick up the adjacent stitch from right to left. Then complete the stitch as a double crochet. Now the front post double crochet is completed. Let's take a look. This row is alternating back post double crochets and front post double crochets. Complete this row. Finally work 1/2 double crochet in the beginning chain. So row 2 is completed. Now start row 3. Make 2 chains as beginning chain. Turn the work. Work this row on the right side. Refer to the pattern for the stitch pattern. Alternate crocheting back post double crochets and front post double crochets. Finish with 1/2 double crochet. So row 3 is completed. Now follow the chart. Complete the remaining rows of the third section, except for the beginning and ending. Each row alternates between back post double crochets and front post double crochets. Pay attention. When crocheting on the wrong side, work the opposite stitch of the chart. So the third section is finished. Once the third section is completed, next sew together the last row of the second section of the hem with the first section. Align the stitches of the last rows. Then pick up the nearby half loop and sew them together. Now let's show. Here I'll continue to demonstrate using a swatch. Place the right side of the fabric facing you. Thread the yarn tail into the sewing needle. Then start sewing from the third section of the hem on one side. For the beginning chain position, pick up the top 2 strands and insert. Insert the needle from bottom to top. Then from top to bottom. Insert into the nearby half loop of the second section of the hem. Then insert from bottom to top into the adjacent half stitch. Continue by inserting back into the same position where you just came out on the first section, and exit through the adjacent stitch. Continue from the second section. Insert at the position where the needle came out, exit through the adjacent stitch. Using the same method, insert into the first section. And exit. After a few stitches, pull tight the yarn tail. Repeat this process to continue sewing. After a few more stitches, pull tight the yarn tail again. You can see only the half loops are left. Continue sewing until the hem is completely finished. Once sewing is complete, tie a knot and weave in the ends on the wrong side. That concludes the hem sewing. Next, on the 5th row of the shell stitch in the second section, sew on 3 beads respectively. Now, let's show. Cut about 1 m of white yarn, and thread the needle. Note, for easier viewing, I'm using a different color yarn to demonstrate. Then secure the yarn tail on the backside. Here I begin sewing at any shell stitch. Sew 1 bead in the middle and on each side of the shell stitch. After completing, carry the yarn across the fabric piece to the next group of shell stitches and sew. Now follow this method. Sew all the beads in place. If the yarn becomes too short during the process, secure it on the wrong side. Take a new yarn and continue sewing. Now complete the rest on your own. That concludes the decorative beads. And that concludes the hem.